Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Imana Amawe. Coming up on the program today, gas explosion in Magodo area of Lagos leaves 2 people dead. Multiple accidents occur on the Kara Bridge area of Ogun State. And Yobe State government receives 29 returnees from Libya as the state promises quick rehabilitation. Welcome to the program that brings you news from the north, south, east and west of Nigeria. 2 persons have been confirmed dead following the inferno that engulfed the second coming gas station located in CMD Road, Magodo, Lagos, in the early hours of today. The station was said to have gone up in flames while a gas truck was discharging its content, with the fire spreading to other facilities in the neighborhood shortly after. Officials of the Lagos State Fire Service have succeeded in putting out the blaze, but that was after battling with it for several hours. Several other persons, including some fire service men, were injured as a result of the inferno. Heads of the Lagos State Fire Service and the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency narrated how the fire started, adding that the station will be shut down for assessment.
Began a normal busy Monday morning in the Magodo area of Lagos State soon turned chaotic at about 7:34 a.m. when multiple explosions rocked a gas plant in the area. According to preliminary investigations, there was gas leakage from one of the trucks in the premises. The sudden explosion occurred when a car with a faulty exhaust pipe passed in front of the company. The men of the Lagos State Fire Service are the first responders, as they are seen battling the inferno head-on. Also responding to the emergency are men of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Lagos State Ambulance Service, LASAMBUS, Lagos State Rapid Response Squad, as well as the FRSC. Their timely intervention got the fire under control. However, there are fears over the casualty figures.
Initially, when we arrived here, we responded promptly and there was no outbreak of fire. We were inside the tank premises, but unfortunately, when a vehicle was passing along, you see, this is the reason why we must listen and take into directives and instructions at every scene of emergency. A vehicle was passing along, it was through the exhaust pipe that caused the explosion, and that was how the fire started.
On the part of the police, you can see that we have been able to control the crowd. They have been put afar, and then we have ensured that we have evacuated all the residents, everybody out of this place. Because as far as we are concerned, this place is still a disaster area until this thing ends finally.
Meanwhile, by the perimeter fence of the gas station, we sight 2 visibly burnt bodies lying motionless. They are said to be people who take refuge along the fence after dark. Emergency officials declined to give the exact figure of casualties.
At the moment, we are not sure anybody is still trapped. Like I said, we are still doing that. Yes, there are issue of casualties, but since it's an ongoing, operation, we will not give casualty figures now. We will rather wait until after the operation is concluded, so that what we give you will be the correct figures.
This popular gas station, situated in a residential estate, has been the destination for both private and commercial users of gas around the area for some time, and concerns as to its location and the safety of the neighborhood where it is sited has just been raised to a higher level. Kayode Okikiolu reporting for Channels Television News.
Away from that unfortunate incident, the Yobe State government has received 29 of its citizens who were brought back by the federal government from Libya. They were part of illegal Nigerian migrants who arrived through the Port Harcourt International Airport, that's in Rivers State, South Nigeria. The returnees were received by the State Commissioner of Justice, Ahmed Goneri.
From the way they are eating, no one needs to tell you that they've been starving. These Nigerian returnees from Libya are part of the latest arrivals brought in by the federal government through the Port Harcourt International Airport in Rivers State. It's the turn of the Benue State government to receive its indigents. The State Commissioner of Justice promises that the government will help reintegrate them into the society.
What we now want the local government to do is to facilitate, because we had discussions with them. They have no problem with any other source of funding and all that. What we will still insist is this: they need to be guided. They need to be guided on what type of business. Now that they are not going back there, they need to be guided on what type of business will now going to feed them.
More assurances are also coming from the State Emergency Management Agency that the voluntary returnees will be taken care of.
All the agencies are responsible are there, including the military. So it was just a kind of professional, technical kind of relationship. And if you want to go to pursue a legitimate business, make sure you adhere to the necessary papers, go legitimate, not as an illegal immigrant. And also, we are calling on the international community to consider that human nature has to be moving. There should be movement. And there's no development in terms of commerce without the interaction of various countries and various citizens. So still that law is there. So we should adhere to it.
The returnees have been handed over to their respective local governments to reunite them with their families.
Well, some of these illegal and migrants who are returning went on the journey on their own in an attempt to reach Europe, while many others fell into the hands of trafficking rings. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, is mandated with the task of addressing the scourge of trafficking in persons. Its Director General, Julie Oka-Donley, joins us live on the program. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, several issues have been thrown up since the federal government began bringing back Nigerians from Libya. But one key issue that seems to spring up most of the time is the issue of welfare. The returnees claim the government generally abandons them once they leave the airport.
Well, this particular project is a federal government project. Mr. President made it very clear that these returnees must be rehabilitated very well and reintegrated back into the society. The first phase of the exercise is to evacuate them safely back to Nigeria, and then the rehabilitation process will start, and then the reintegration. So I really do not see any of these returnees being abandoned by the federal government.
Okay, apart from the abandonment, the issue of, we've had several cases where the returnees complain that where they are being camped or they are not being camped adequately, feeding is a challenge and all whatnot. How true are these allegations?
Well, I can tell you that those who come, into Port Harcourt are very well fed at the initial reception center, which is at the Hajj camp in the Port Harcourt airport. Going forward from the airports, I think some states come to take their indigents away, and we keep telling them at NAPTIP, if you're not ready to rehabilitate your indigents, work with the federal government agencies who have the capacity to rehabilitate the returnees. Do not take them back to their states and just reunite them immediately. They need to go through a counseling session. They need to go through their medicals before they are rehabilitated properly and then, empowered and reintegrated. Because if you send them back to their communities without empowering them or treating them, it may cause a greater havoc.
All right. Yes, indeed, there are several organizations involved with the rehabilitation and reintegration of these migrants, these returnees. What specific role does NAPTIP play in getting them back into society to be useful?
Yeah, for those returnees who are in our shelters right now, I can tell you that they are already going through a counseling session. Whilst that is going on, their medicals are being attended to, and after which we engage them to find out what they want to do. Whatever it is they want to do, be it skill acquisition, going back to a school or whatever, what have you, we make sure that that is done. After they get something done to, with their lives, we reintegrate them back into the society after empowering them. We do not send them back into the communities before going back to the communities to counsel those of the community leaders where they come from, to ensure that they are not stigmatized when they go back to their respective communities. That is what NAPTIP has been doing, and that is what we will do.
Okay, let me quickly ask you. Most of these returnees are graduates. Is getting them jobs part of what NAPTIP does?
Well, we have not met with anyone that is a graduate so far. We've come across some that, dropped out from school and were desirous of going back to continue with their education, and we assisted them to get educated, and some of them have graduated from NAPTIP shelters. Some of them are in secondary schools, while some are also in the primary schools. We haven't met any of the graduates yet. But yes, even if we meet a graduate who wants to get a job, we can also interact with other agencies that may help them get jobs in the various agencies.
All right, thank you very much, Director General of NAPTIP, Julie Oka-Dunley, for sharing your thoughts with us on the program. When the program returns in a moment, police arrests over 40 youths in Benue State for clashes in communities. Join us again for details.